capricious viewers, some highs, some lows in this colorful swipe. Watch it with me, won't you?
I am Mrs. Ruby Merlot. As a cultural, colorful pouring icon, I dress for every pour as one would naturally dress for dinner. I channel my muse with a quick vocal exercise, then ask my canvas what it wants to be. And now that you know my story, shall we pour?
Ah, how delightful! My tray of many colors. First, to center myself for the pour, I vocalize. Swiping, swiping. Then I ask my canvas what it wants to be. I always have a plan for my pour. Sometimes it even turns out the way I'd envisioned it. Alas, paint pouring's capricious nature is one of its challenges and its charms. Using my very expensive gold cards, for which I have such great affection, I intend to adopt a delicate hand with the bright, happy hues. After applying a base coat of white, I lay down the paints a bit randomly, doling them out in smaller sections to accommodate my cards more effectively. Oh, and even with those first few swipes, one can see potential for a glorious outcome, don't you think? I continue with my beautiful colors: copper, gold, rose gold, light and dark pinks, red, phthalo blue, a lighter blue, quinacridone magenta, Payne's gray, and white. All are mixed with Floetrol, and all but the white contain a drop or two of silicone. For more specific information, check in my description section. While I like most of what I'm seeing here, there are areas with too much dark color applied with what I humbly admit is too heavy a hand. As one can see, re-swiping generally works well, making this type of pour so forgiving. With a swipe such as this, there is often little if any tilting needed, but I do make sure all the edges are covered with white and apply white over some areas where there are bits of colors I want to remove. Sometimes the important act of scraping the drips from the edges is a time for quiet reflection that allows me to think through any problem issues with the pour. I attempt to ameliorate the dark and heavy-handed side, but in hindsight, I could have chosen to remove the offending paints in those sections with my palette knife and started from scratch. Torching helps bring forth additional cells, and then I experience what I would call a true lapse in judgment. I use a balloon. Now, there are many fine paint pour artists out there who create splendid works with balloons. I am not one of them. Perhaps it's from my childhood fear of balloons. Globophobia. It's a real thing, you know, though unaware it was a condition when I was but 8. I certainly exhibited its symptoms. Back then, a common party game was who could pop their balloon first. One could sit on it, jump on it, or squeeze it in one's arms. I never won that game. I excelled at pinning the tail somewhere near the appropriate part of the donkey. But balloons? Oh, my heavens, no! I suffered through many parties where the grown-up would say, "Come on, Ruby, all the other children have already popped theirs. They're waiting for you so we can have cake." Eventually, I crafted a plan to sneak a sharp pin into those parties, but by that time the game had gone out of vogue. But I digress. You see, here I am embellishing this painting, drawing lines of color, especially the gold, through the paints with my palette knife. I also tried to improve on the balloon fiasco with limited success. And we're already into the close-ups. They are amazing, don't you think? They remind me of a popular children's birthday present, magic rocks. Or maybe I just have children's birthday parties on the mind. But do you remember? You put these funny lumps in some solution and watch them grow into colorful stalactites or mites. I can never remember. And the colors! I do so love wild colors, and I have them here. They're like big bunches of multicolored flowers, perhaps. And look, pulling gold through the balloon roll portion of this painting does improve its look, doesn't it? And here is the finished picture, bursting with those colors, cells, and, yes, balloon rolls. Just another painful reminder of my childhood. Please subscribe to my channel. If you do so, I might invite you to my next party. There will be no balloon popping allowed.